Welcome to the Rise and Persist podcast. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Sophia. Today we want to talk about something almost every relationship faces: conflict. And more importantly, how to turn that conflict into deeper connection.
Conflict is not the enemy of a good relationship. Unresolved conflict is. The way we handle disagreement often determines whether a relationship grows stronger or slowly erodes.
Many people believe that healthy relationships should be mostly free of conflict. But the truth is that two different people will inevitably see the world differently, have different needs, and sometimes hurt each other without intending to.
The real skill is not avoiding conflict. It is learning how to move through it in a way that increases understanding instead of increasing distance.
One of the first shifts is changing how we see conflict itself. Instead of treating it as a battle to win, we can treat it as information. Conflict often reveals unmet needs, unspoken fears, or places where the relationship needs more care.
When you approach a disagreement with curiosity instead of defense, everything changes. You stop trying to prove you are right and start trying to understand what is happening underneath the surface.
That curiosity is a choice. In the heat of the moment, it can feel almost impossible. But the more you practice pausing before reacting, the more space you create for connection.
A simple but powerful practice is to ask yourself, what is this really about for me? And what might it be about for them? Those two questions can turn an argument into a conversation.
Another key is learning to speak from your own experience instead of attacking the other person. There is a big difference between saying, "You never listen to me," and saying, "I feel unheard right now, and it hurts."
The first version puts the other person on the defensive. The second version invites them into your inner world. One creates distance, the other creates the possibility of closeness.
This does not mean you ignore real problems. It means you address them in a way that protects the relationship while still telling the truth.
Turning conflict into connection also requires the willingness to repair. After a hard conversation or a fight, the repair is often more important than the original disagreement.
A sincere apology, a gentle check-in, or simply saying, "I care about us more than I care about being right," can rebuild safety faster than almost anything else.
Many relationships do not fail because of one big conflict. They fail because of many small ruptures that never get repaired. Learning to repair is one of the most valuable skills you can develop.
And repair is available even after years of distance. It is never too late to begin choosing connection again.
Let us talk about the role of listening. Real listening is one of the rarest and most powerful gifts you can offer in a relationship.
Most of us listen in order to reply. We are already preparing our defense or our counterpoint while the other person is still speaking. That is not listening. That is waiting to talk.
True listening means setting aside your need to be right long enough to understand the other person's world. It means hearing the feelings underneath the words.
When someone feels genuinely heard, their nervous system calms, defensiveness drops. Suddenly, there is room for connection that did not exist a moment before.
You can practice this by reflecting back what you heard before you respond. Something as simple as, "What I hear you saying is," can transform the entire tone of a difficult conversation.
It shows the other person that you are not just waiting for your turn. You are actually trying to understand. That effort alone builds trust.
Another important skill is learning to regulate your own emotions during conflict. When you are flooded with anger or fear, your ability to connect disappears.
In those moments, the wisest choice is often to pause. Take a break. Say, "I want to continue this conversation, but I need a few minutes to calm down so I can really hear you."
This is not avoidance. This is responsibility. You are protecting the relationship from words spoken in a reactive state that you may later regret.
Coming back to the conversation after you have regulated yourself is a powerful act of care. It says, "Our connection matters more than my temporary urge to win."
Many relationship struggles come from unspoken expectations. We assume the other person should know what we need, and then we feel hurt when they do not meet those invisible standards.
Turning conflict into connection often requires making the invisible visible. Learning to express needs clearly and kindly is a skill that prevents many unnecessary fights.
Instead of, you never help me, try, I feel overwhelmed and I would really appreciate your help with this. One creates guilt and distance, the other creates an invitation. Let us go deeper into the patterns that keep couples or close relationships stuck in repeated conflict.
Many relationships fall into a cycle. One person pursues, the other withdraws, or both become defensive, or both shut down. These patterns feel automatic, but they are learned, and therefore they can be changed.
The first step is recognizing the pattern together. When both people can say, here we go again, this is our usual cycle, the pattern loses some of its power.
From that place of shared awareness, you can choose a different response. The pursuer can soften, the withdrawer can stay present a little longer. Small changes in the cycle create new possibilities.
Underlying most relationship conflict is a deeper question. Do I matter to you? Am I safe with you? Will you still choose me when things are hard?
When those deeper needs for safety and significance are threatened, the surface argument becomes intense. Understanding this helps you respond to the real issue instead of only the words being spoken.
Turning conflict into connection means learning to reassure each other, even in the middle of disagreement. A simple, I love you and we will get through this, can change the entire emotional climate.
It does not mean you ignore the problem. It means you protect the bond while you work on the problem.
Another powerful practice is taking responsibility for your part without waiting for the other person to go first.
You can say, I see how my tone made this harder, or I shut down and that left you alone with the problem. Owning your contribution often softens the other person and opens the door to mutual repair.
This is not about taking all the blame. It is about having the courage to lead with honesty and humility. That kind of leadership creates safety.
Over time, relationships that practice repair become more resilient. They develop a shared confidence that conflict does not have to mean disconnection.
Let us talk about the difference between healthy conflict and destructive conflict.
Healthy conflict stays focused on the issue. It includes respect, even when emotions are strong. It allows both people to speak and to be heard. And it ends with some form of repair or understanding.
Destructive conflict attacks the person. It uses contempt, criticism, stonewalling, or defensiveness. These patterns erode trust over time and make connection harder with every repetition.
The good news is that even long-standing destructive patterns can be changed when both people are willing. It starts with awareness and a shared commitment to do better.
One practical tool is the gentle startup. How you begin a difficult conversation often determines how it will go. Starting with soft words and ownership creates a very different outcome than starting with blame.
Instead of, you always leave me to handle everything, try, I've been feeling overwhelmed and I'd like us to look at how we share responsibilities. The second version invites collaboration instead of defense.
Timing also matters. Bringing up a sensitive topic when someone is exhausted, stressed, or distracted rarely leads to connection. Choosing a calmer moment is an act of care.
And if a conversation starts to escalate, either person can call a respectful pause. Agreeing in advance on a way to take breaks without abandoning each other can prevent a lot of damage.
Turning conflict into connection also means celebrating the repairs. When you successfully navigate a hard conversation and come out closer, acknowledge it. That positive reinforcement strengthens the new pattern.
Relationships grow not only from avoiding harm, but from actively noticing and appreciating the moments when you get it right together.
Over time, the relationship develops a kind of emotional muscle memory. Conflict becomes less frightening because you both trust that you know how to find your way back to each other. We also want to address relationships where trust has been deeply damaged. In those cases, turning conflict into connection takes more time and more consistency.
Trust is rebuilt through many small acts of reliability, honesty, and care over time. There is no single conversation that restores what was broken. There is only the patient accumulation of new evidence.
The person who caused the rupture must be willing to take full responsibility without becoming defensive. The person who was hurt must be willing, eventually, to risk trusting again in small ways.
Both sides require courage, and both sides require the choice to prioritize the relationship over the need to stay protected or to stay right.
Not every relationship can or should be saved. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to end a pattern that is consistently harmful. Turning conflict into connection is valuable, but not at the cost of your well-being or safety.
The relationship over the need to stay protected or to stay right. Discernment is part of wisdom. The skills we are discussing are meant to strengthen relationships that have a foundation of mutual care. They are not meant to keep anyone in a situation that is destructive.
When the foundation is good, however, conflict becomes an opportunity. Every successfully navigated disagreement can deepen intimacy because it proves that the bond is strong enough to hold honesty and difference.
That is the real gift. Conflict handled well does not just resolve a problem, it creates a stronger sense of we.
As we move toward the close of this conversation on the Rise and Persist podcast, we want to leave you with a few practical invitations.
First, the next time conflict arises, try pausing before you react. Even a few seconds of awareness can change the direction of the entire conversation.
Second, practice speaking from your own experience. Use I feel and I need more than you always or you never.
Third, make repair a priority. After tension, reach back toward each other. A small gesture of care can prevent a temporary rupture from becoming a lasting distance.
Turning conflict into connection is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. You will not get it perfect. What matters is the direction you keep choosing.
Every time you choose understanding over winning, listening over defending, and repair over withdrawal, you strengthen the relationship and your own capacity for intimacy.
That is how conflict becomes a doorway instead of a wall.
If this episode has been helpful, please subscribe to the Rise and Persist podcast so you can continue growing with us.
And if you know someone who is struggling in a relationship and could use these ideas, share this video with them. Sometimes one conversation can open a new path for two people.
Thank you for being here. May your relationships become places of greater honesty, safety, and connection.
May you rise and persist together.
We believe in your capacity to turn even hard moments into deeper bonds.
Until next time, let us explore more deeply why conflict so often escalates, even when both people care about each other.
Part of the reason is that our nervous systems are wired for protection. When we feel criticized or rejected, the body reacts as if there is danger. Heart rate rises, thinking becomes more rigid, empathy decreases.
In that state, even a well-intentioned comment can land as an attack. Understanding this biological reality helps us take conflict less personally and respond more skillfully.
One of the most useful things you can do is learn to recognize when you or your partner is becoming flooded. The signs are often physical: tension in the chest, heat in the face, a sudden urge to leave or to fight.
When you notice those signs, the wisest move is usually to slow everything down. Take a breath, soften your voice, or kindly ask for a short break.
Research on relationships shows that couples who can self-soothe and return to the conversation with more calm have a much higher chance of turning the conflict into understanding.
Another layer is childhood patterns. Many of the ways we fight or withdraw were learned long before we met our current partner. We bring old survival strategies into new relationships without realizing it.
Becoming aware of those patterns is powerful. When you can say, "This is my old fear of being abandoned showing up," or "This is my habit of shutting down when I feel controlled," you create space to choose a new response.
Sharing those insights with each other can turn a fight into a moment of real intimacy. Vulnerability about your own patterns often softens the other person more effectively than any argument.
This is one of the quiet ways conflict becomes connection. You stop being two people defending positions and become two people exploring their inner worlds together.
That shift from adversaries to teammates is at the heart of lasting relationship health. Let us talk about the importance of appreciation and positive connection as a foundation for handling conflict well.
Relationships that have a strong base of everyday kindness and appreciation can weather conflict much more easily. When the emotional bank account is full, A disagreement is less likely to feel like a threat to the entire bond.
Small daily acts of care, gratitude, and attention create resilience. They make it safer to be honest when problems arise because both people trust that the relationship itself is solid.
If conflict has become frequent and painful, one of the most effective long term strategies is to deliberately increase positive interactions outside of problem solving conversations.
Notice what is going well, express appreciation, create moments of fun and affection. These are not distractions from the real issues. They are the soil in which healthier conflict can grow.
When people feel valued and connected, they are more willing to listen, more willing to take responsibility, and more willing to work as a team.
This is why turning conflict into connection is not only about what you do in the hard moments, it is also about how you treat each other in the ordinary ones.
The quality of your everyday connection determines how much safety exists when the difficult conversations arrive.
Let us go further into the practical skills that help transform conflict.
One of the most effective is learning to validate the other person's experience, even when you disagree with their conclusion.
Validation does not mean you agree. It means you acknowledge that their feelings make sense from their point of view. That simple recognition often lowers the emotional temperature dramatically.
You can say something like, I can see why you would feel that way, or it makes sense that you're upset given what happened. These words create safety.
When people feel validated, they become more open to hearing your perspective. The conversation shifts from two monologues into a real exchange.
Another skill is learning to stay on one topic at a time. In the heat of conflict, it is easy to bring up every past grievance. That pattern overwhelms the conversation and makes resolution almost impossible.
Agreeing to focus on the present issue first creates clarity. You can always return to other concerns later, but stacking multiple problems usually leads to more disconnection.
It also helps to agree on a shared goal for the conversation. Instead of each person trying to win, you can both aim for greater understanding or a workable solution.
When both people remember that they are on the same team, the energy of the conflict changes. You stop being opponents and become partners facing a problem together.
This team mindset is one of the clearest signs of a healthy relationship. Conflict is no longer a threat to the bond. It becomes something the bond is strong enough to hold.
Developing that mindset takes practice and repeated choices, especially in the moments when it would feel easier to attack or withdraw.
But every time you choose the team perspective, you reinforce it. Over time, it becomes more natural.
We also want to address the role of forgiveness within relationship conflict.
Even in good relationships, people will inevitably hurt each other. Learning to forgive the smaller wounds as they happen prevents them from accumulating into larger resentments.
This does not mean ignoring repeated harmful behavior. It means releasing the grip of everyday disappointments and missteps so they do not poison the overall connection.
A relationship where both people can apologize and forgive freely has a tremendous advantage. The emotional recovery time after conflict becomes much shorter.
Humor, when used gently and at the right moment, can also help. Shared laughter after tension can signal that the bond is still intact and that you can return to warmth.
Of course, humor should never be used to dismiss real feelings, but when both people feel safe, a light moment can ease the path back to connection.
Physical affection, if it is welcome in the relationship, is another powerful repair tool. A hand on the shoulder, a hug, or simply sitting closer can communicate care when words still feel difficult.
These small bridges matter. They remind both people that the relationship is larger than the current disagreement.
Let us explore how to handle the moments when conflict feels stuck and both people are exhausted.
There are times when you have tried the skills and still feel distant. In those seasons, it can help to step back and look at the larger pattern rather than only the latest argument.
Ask together, what keeps happening between us? What are we both protecting? What are we both afraid of losing?
These deeper questions often reveal the real engine of the conflict. Once that is visible, the surface fights make more sense and become easier to address.
Sometimes the stuckness comes from unspoken grief or disappointment about the relationship itself. Naming that gently can open a new level of honesty.
It takes courage to say, I miss how we used to feel, or I'm scared we're losing each other. But those vulnerable statements often create the very connection that has been missing.
When both people can admit the cost of ongoing conflict, motivation to change usually increases. The shared desire to protect the relationship becomes stronger than the need to be right.
From that place, even small agreements can begin to rebuild hope. Consistency in those small agreements is what slowly restores trust.
As we bring this conversation on the Rise and Persist podcast toward its close, we want to remind you of the core truth.
Conflict does not have to destroy connection. Handled with care, curiosity, and a commitment to repair, it can actually deepen the bond between two people.
The skills we have discussed, listening, speaking from experience, regulating emotion, validating, repairing, and choosing the team perspective, are all learnable.
You do not need to master them all at once. Begin with one, practice it, notice the difference it makes, then build from there.
Every relationship that lasts has learned how to fight and how to come back together. That capacity is one of the quiet strengths of lasting love and lasting friendship.
If this episode has helped you, please subscribe to the Rise and Persist podcast. And if someone you care about is struggling in a relationship, share this with them. One conversation can plant the seed of change.
Thank you for being here. May your relationships become safer, more honest, and more connected.
May you rise and persist together through both the hard moments and the beautiful ones.
We believe in your capacity to turn conflict into deeper connection.
Until next time.
Before we finish, we want to speak to those who feel discouraged because they have tried these ideas before and still struggle.
Change in relationships is rarely instant. Old patterns have deep roots. It is normal to fall back into familiar reactions even after you understand better ways.
What matters is that you keep returning to the intention. Each time you catch yourself and choose a healthier response, you are weakening the old pattern and strengthening the new one.
Progress is often measured in smaller escalations, quicker repairs, and slightly more understanding than before. Those incremental shifts add up over time.
Be patient with yourself and with the other person. You are both learning. Criticism of the process usually slows it down. Encouragement helps it grow.
And remember that seeking additional support is a sign of strength, not failure. Some patterns benefit from the guidance of a skilled counselor or mentor.
The willingness to keep growing together is itself a powerful form of connection. Thank you for staying with us through this extended exploration on the Rise and Persist podcast.
We hope these ideas give you both practical tools and renewed hope for your relationships.
Conflict can become connection when we choose curiosity, care, and repair. That choice is available to you.
Please subscribe if you have not already, and share this episode with anyone who might need it. Your share could help another relationship find a better path.
May your relationships grow in honesty, safety, and real closeness.
May you rise and persist together.
We believe in you.
Until next time.
Let us add one more practical layer that many people find helpful over the long term.
Create a shared language for conflict. Agree on a few simple phrases you can both use when things start to escalate.
Phrases like, I need a pause, or can we slow this down, or I want to understand you better, can become signals that protect the relationship in real time.
When both people know and respect these signals, it becomes much easier to interrupt a destructive pattern before it gains momentum.
You can also agree in calmer moments on how you want to handle conflict when it arises. Having a plan reduces the chaos when emotions are high.
This kind of preparation is an act of care. It shows that you value the relationship enough to plan for its difficult moments.
Over time, these agreements become part of the culture of the relationship. Conflict starts to feel less dangerous because you both know how to navigate it.
That sense of safety is one of the greatest gifts you can give each other.
We want to end with a simple reminder. Every relationship worth keeping will face conflict. The question is never whether conflict will come. The question is what you will do with it.
You have the power to choose understanding over winning, repair over distance, and connection over pride.
Those choices, repeated over time, create relationships that can hold both honesty and love.
Thank you for listening to the Rise and Persist podcast. Subscribe if you have not yet, and share this episode with anyone who might benefit.
May your relationships grow stronger through the hard conversations, not despite them.
May you rise and persist together.
We believe in you.
Until next time.
As a final reflection, we want to emphasize that turning conflict into connection is not about becoming perfect communicators overnight.
It is about becoming people who care more about the health of the relationship than about winning the moment.
That priority changes everything. When both people share it, even imperfect conversations can still lead back to closeness.
You will still have hard days. You will still say things you wish you could take back. The difference is that you now know how to find your way home to each other afterward.
That ability to return is one of the deepest forms of love and friendship. It is the quiet strength that allows relationships to last and to grow.
So keep practicing. Keep choosing understanding when it would be easier to attack. Keep choosing repair when it would be easier to withdraw.
Those repeated choices are how conflict slowly becomes a pathway to deeper connection, rather than a source of lasting damage.
We are grateful you joined us for this conversation on the Rise and Persist podcast.
Please subscribe and share this episode with anyone who might need hope for their relationships.
May you keep rising and persisting together through conflict and into greater closeness.
We believe in you.
Until next time.
Welcome to the Rise and Persist podcast. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Sophia. Today we explore relationship struggles and how to turn conflict into connection.
Conflict is not the enemy of a healthy relationship. Unresolved and poorly handled conflict is. The way we move through disagreement often determines whether a relationship grows stronger or slowly weakens.
Many people believe good relationships should be mostly free of conflict, but two different people will inevitably have different needs, perspectives, and emotional histories. Disagreement is natural. What matters is how we handle it.
The first shift is to stop treating conflict as a battle to win and start treating it as information. Conflict often reveals unmet needs, unspoken fears, or places that need more care.
When you approach a disagreement with curiosity instead of defense, the entire dynamic changes. You stop trying to prove you are right and start trying to understand what is happening underneath.
A powerful practice is to ask, what is this really about for me? And what might it be about for them? Those questions can turn an argument into a real conversation.
How we speak also matters. There is a big difference between "you never listen" and "I feel unheard right now and it hurts." One attacks, the other invites understanding.
Speaking from your own experience protects the relationship while still allowing honesty. It creates the possibility of closeness instead of distance.
Repair is just as important as the original conversation. After tension, a sincere apology, a gentle check-in, or simply saying, "I care about us" more than being right, can rebuild safety quickly.
Many relationships do not fail because of one big fight. They fail because of many small ruptures that never get repaired. Learning to repair is one of the most valuable skills you can develop.
Real listening is another rare and powerful gift. Most of us listen in order to reply. True listening means setting aside the need to be right long enough to understand the other person's world.
When someone feels genuinely heard, defensiveness drops and connection becomes possible again.
Regulating your own emotions during conflict is essential. When you are flooded, your ability to connect disappears. Taking a respectful pause is not avoidance, it is responsibility.
Coming back to the conversation after calming yourself is a powerful act of care. It shows that the relationship matters more than the temporary urge to win or escape.
Underlying most conflict is a deeper question. Do I matter to you? Am I safe with you? When those needs feel threatened, the surface argument intensifies.
Learning to reassure each other, even in the middle of disagreement, protects the bond while you work on the problem.
Taking responsibility for your part without waiting for the other person to go first is another powerful move. Owning your contribution often softens the other person and opens the door to mutual repair.
Over time, relationships that practice these skills develop confidence that conflict does not have to mean disconnection. They learn that they can find their way back to each other.
That is how conflict becomes a doorway instead of a wall.
If this conversation has been helpful, please subscribe to the Rise and Persist podcast. And if you know someone who is struggling in a relationship, share this episode with them. One message can open a new path for two people.
Thank you for being here. May your relationships become places of greater honesty, safety, and real connection. May you rise and persist together.
We believe in your capacity to